Let's watch I'm gonna preach. Let's see what's going on.
Volunteerism is a multi-billion
That's some
dollar
crazy
industry.
stuff.
It's
This is Vice. I
millions
knew
of
it.
people
They watching it
access
too.
to impoverished and
Yeah,
struggling
Vice had this shit
education
going for a
and
while.
a life-affirming experience.
So be aware this is about orphanage, kind of a the foster care system and orphans. It's kind of like a touchy subject. Just because there's a lot of stuff that goes on in there that is not regulated by like people who I think honestly give a fuck. It's like a prison system, honestly, and it's bad because the kids that go missing from the system, they have no account of it, even though they're supposed to be caretaker. They get the money and funding from the government, property taxpayers' dollar, and they're misusing and even abusing the children.
Kids would see bands of volunteers pulling towards them, and they'd quickly rub dirt on their faces so that they'd be more appealing, ironically, to the volunteers and look like.
I watched this already. I actually watched it 3 times before Preacher Abba even covered it. I would say I want to cover it on their take on it, but yeah, I
Needed
just
more
want to
help. Each of
probably a little bit faster because this is my third time seeing the exact same video, fourth time I mean. So I know,
paid thousands of
goes
dollars
it's
to go on this
crazy.
trip. Of that trip fee, almost none of it went to the orphanage.
Yep,
The primary goal
I learned that too. When I used to work for Publix, they used to ask us to give a portion of our paychecks to like organizations like March of Dime and some other stuff, and then somebody had a good question to ask, and the thing is like how much money actually goes, like how much money goes to the donation of my dollar, and then the, it's like, well, it's like 10% of your dollar goes to the actual cause. I'm like, oh, okay. So we give a whole dollar, mostly go back to the people who wanted it, and then because it's donation, they don't get taxed on it, and then 10% go to maybe the cause of it, which should be like if all of us collective,
we
it's
were
still a
told
good
was to
thing,
build a
but still.
library. Our work was so bad that the local builders who were working alongside us would.
When they come by and destroy. So they're talking about volunteerism. Oh, pay to go do those like missions. The feel good because
Orphanage, volunteerism, missionary work abroad, anything that means people going over there to do some type of social work.
I'm white. I mean, it's just rich people out of touch. Honestly, like the shit's evolved so much. It used to be just white folks, and now it's folks from like different communities doing it now. And it was like mostly white women back in the day.
Yeah,
If you guys aren't aware, there's like
like
people take either parts of Asia,
human
Africa,
terrier,
Latin America, where they like we want to
Haiti.
build a school or all this stuff. And you
Yeah,
pay thousands of dollars to go do it, and you know, it's funny to me because like these are generally like people between the ages of 18 to 24, and every time I would see people, even folks I went to school with, take these trips, I'd always laugh in my head. Having lived in Ethiopia for many years and then lived in Canada for many years, I always thought it was so funny. Like you live in Canada, you got so many standards. You want to build anything, you got to go through an architect, you got to do all this other stuff, you got to go through contractors. Everyone has to get government approval, the dimensions, everything. And then they just choose these random motherfuckers who work at Starbucks who can't even spell your name correctly, but all of a sudden they're gonna build you a school.
yeah, no way.
It's like, bitch, who trusts in Sabrina to put a roof over your head? You can't even write ABA without putting an extra B in the bitch. I'm not trusting her for nothing. I'm not trusting
No.
her for nothing. That's more Yeah, I'm not trusting these niggas either. No, but I'm just being honest. Like, it is one of those
Yeah.
things. And I remember these people.
And this is coming from a Haitian. When it comes to the whatever thing they were trying to pull off when we had an earthquake in Haiti, nothing got done. I don't know what all that money went. It was evaporated. The moment they even touch any Haitians that I know, my mom was sending clothes, food, anything she can to relatives down there because it was bad. Houses were missing. Some people, relatives were gone. Is what it was. If people were missing too because of the earthquake, don't know what they had. They probably were trapped on the rubble for a couple of days. Just got found a week. That shit was happening. That shit was real. So after all that stuff I was hearing about while I was in school and oh we are the world, all that bull crap. Yeah, that money didn't go to none of that shit. None. I went back there probably a couple years later. It was like maybe I know I was in middle school. I think I was in eighth grade. The roads broken down, the houses, neighborhoods fucked up. Nothing got changed. All that money went to nothing. So yeah, why watch who you give your money to when you donate to them? Because they might not be using it. They're just hey, give me money for whatever salacious reason. So
would take these pictures. Sometimes they tag me like, oh, what do you like? Where were y'all? I'm like, first off, why are you tagging me when you look like I'm one of the few African niggas you know? One, two, two is like the shit is actually so insidious and so toxic. I'll tell you why. They go to these really poor, impoverished communities. Okay, they look nothing like the locals. They don't speak the language. They have no connection. Okay, and these are generally a lot of impoverished kids, orphans, all this stuff.
Yep.
They go there. They play with the kids. They get close to them. They spend time taking pictures. They document everything. It goes up on social media. They build these bonds with these kids who either lost their parents to war, famine, all this other stuff. Okay, and then these motherfuckers just up and disappear after building these bonds with these kids. I had one girl talking to me about the fact that one of the people that she made a contact with over there still contacts her to this day, and like she can't handle the relationship, it's too intense, and like so she ignores the messages. I'm like, you dumb fucking cunt. You're the one who took this child who's lost most everything, got really close to him, feel perfectly fine with keeping your fucking pictures with the individual on your social media, but you can't maintain a bond with the motherfucker? Of course you look stupid in this shit.
So what happened?
She never replied to this motherfucker.
What happened? You adopted a dog and shot him in the back of the head when he was too much.
Listen.
Same memo.
Listen, this is fuckboy behavior, tourism edition, okay?
Wow.
Yeah, it is
And for
tourism.
me, I've always never.
There's tourism on a
It's so
different
scary for the places
spectrum.
involved as well, because now these kids, their only perception of whiteness in these rural areas is of those who come in, you know, take a bunch of pictures, treat them as tools, and then disappear. That's weird, ain't it? Imagine just being treated like a zoo attraction, because that's what it is. Let's go check out the safari with little poor African niggas. That's what this is.
No, it's with the there's a feeling that you're helping. I'm not saying that every tour is like that, and everything that people do like that is like that. But yeah, it does raise a question. Like, what are you doing? It's more than just a tour when you go to the zoo. It's more than that. Because when I go to the zoo, yes, I do it for me, but I just want to see nice things. When they do these kinds of things, I actually want to feel like I'm helping, like I'm doing something. You know what I mean? And I always look at that shit weird. Like, I understand some of the people I know go in these tours and stuff like that, right? That question is always in the back of my head. Like, okay, but what's underlying?
The reason why you're here.
What's
Yeah.
under there? Let me mean, there's a lot of people that need help here. You know what I mean? You got your own people suffering here. But you actually, like, what is
Yeah.
the process? Like, there's something I
It
cannot.
looks good on paper, but when you actually get to the nitty gritty of it, you look at it, it's like,
Go lay down bricks
Okay.
every day and get torn down right after you fucking leave. If you really care, you could have donated to an organization that actually does a lot of the labor and would do it properly and do it far more effectively. But you do this for your own ego. That's what this is for.
Well,
That's what this is for.
the reason why they don't donate to those industries and stuff like that, the reason why I would donate, man, I don't trust them. And there's been some of these.
Yeah, I don't trust them either.
Say, oh, please pledge money. We're gonna build this. We're gonna build that, and actually take the money and never build shit. And big on organization.
Yep.
You know, Red Cross and everything. They did some shit in Haiti that was foul as fuck. Foul. Where you raised $6 million and then you only built 6 houses. And when I'm talking about 6 houses, I'm talking about 4 walls each house. Not.
yeah, like little square houses. Like all that money went to nothing. Raise what the money for who? Who got all that money? Because it wasn't the Haitians. And I know, I have Haitians over there. It's like, yeah, we're on our own. All that BS, bro. Oh my gosh.
You know what I mean? So at some point you look at it
6
like, let me just
houses
help myself.
out of
I'm not
millions
gonna
of dollars
take it on, like, one
raised.
direction, only be like, oh, if it's that, then it's
Whatever,
that.
bro.
I'm not gonna say that. Like, oh, wait, if you're going to help, it's actually your ego. I'm not gonna say that, but it does raise a question.
It is your ego. And it's a lot of arrogance because people who are not from these places, who've never set foot in there, want to walk in and think they can help. You can't help. You don't even really understand the problems. You don't have the skill set. You go in there for 2 weeks. What are you gonna fucking help? You have zero conception of like the culture.
Well, it's not
first
2
person
weeks.
in.
It's longer periods of
I
time.
understand what you're saying about NGOs. There's plenty of corrupt ones. Absolutely. That's also your responsibility, not just to give money to people, but to do extensive research to make sure your money's actually going where you want. Of course,
Yeah.
with organizations as big as the Red Cross, you're gonna have certain chapters that are corrupt. You're gonna have certain people within that.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, people talk about, oh, I want to go down there and help myself. If you're not going there for an extended period of time, you just jerking yourself off. What is 2 weeks gonna do? You don't even have time to fucking meet enough locals to understand anything, let alone have the conversations. How are you gonna help? I don't care so much.
Yeah, it's a sense of a
You know, you want to jerk yourself off. You want to throw money into
Crazy.
You want to experience. Like, listen, some people go skydiving. If you want to experience, go get your experience. I don't care. And my issue is not even with people wanting to go back to understand and see for themselves. I think everyone should. But I think the arrogance of thinking you can help that way is what I'm against. Just go to learn and understand. Start there. You can't fix a problem unless you really understand what it is, and you won't learn about it on Facebook posts.
Exactly,
You gotta actually sit there
dog.
and spend time. You got to see the intricacies of the system because guess what? Corruption ain't simple. Poverty is not simple. It's
Nope.
not you throw it. You got to really understand it. And so you want to go back and understand and see for yourself. Go for it. But don't feed me this bullshit about you helping. You're not helping. You're feeding your own ego, which is free. Everyone's entitled to that. But when it comes at the expense of these communities, it comes at the expense of these places. And who are these people you're putting money in? Because they're using these people too. Don't exactly sound like the most stand-up people. I could be wrong, but you want to talk about giving money to the wrong NGOs? Hey, these tourism people probably not the best people either.
no.
Right? So, because they have a vested interest in keeping the community as poor as possible to continuously generate income. Go ahead.
How do they call it?
Volunteer tourism.
The minute you put tourism, it's weird.
Yep.
Because then it's linked to profit. Tourism. It's gonna let me see the world. What are you, Aladdin? I can show you the world. No, it's weird. So you make a whole business out of it, and an ecosystem, however the fuck you say that word,
Ecosystem.
of businesses linked together in order for you to see the world and to feel that you're helping. Sexual tourism, benefits, tourism. There's always a benefit.
There's a lot of
It's weird.
sex
Local
tourism
voters who
over
were
too.
beside us would come back while we were sleeping and undo our work and redo it. I told one of the chaperones from my school on the trip about what I'd seen and was advised to keep it to myself. You have stories of people donating bags full of toys that the orphanage director then goes and gives to his own kids or sells or locks in the closet so that the next group of volunteers will donate bags of toys. Because if they see kids playing with tons of toys, they won't bring toys. If they see kids sleeping on a good bed with a good mattress, they won't donate money for better beds and better mattresses. I've been involved in volunteerism for over a decade. The language used by volunteers.
Think about this and then think about the medical field. Not saying that the people in the medical field don't help, but there's a clear agenda where Food, Drug, FDA, and just take a look at it and draw to your own conclusion on why you think there's like reason why insulin costs so damn much when it comes to diabetes, like shit like that. It's just like if healthcare was really for humanity, it shouldn't matter how much money you have.
Tends to be along the lines of you can change the world and not yourself all at the same time.
You can't
I
afford it,
wanted
you
to
might die.
physically go out to be that change,
What
make a
is
difference,
that?
be a global citizen. I definitely was thinking about how it would
Aren't
work
we
with
all
my
humans?
and
You
I
wouldn't,
was
if
gonna
somebody
go
was
out with my
hungry,
parents to pay a couple
wouldn't you at
thousand
least
dollars
try to
to
like, damn, have a
for
means to
food
feed
that
them?
we were a predominantly white group. When I
Try,
was a young,
like,
young woman was
help your
questioning
fellow
black
men out
and was being
for
encouraged
just
by
what
this
it is.
volunteer to live openly. The reality of this young woman's life was that she lived in a community where doing so would put her at very great physical danger. And so this volunteer was so focused on her own moral compass and moral values that she
that's going into another country, not knowing what's going on and how people interact and what's the
What's the
and it's
root
like, no,
of
what you
the
should do
problem?
is to do this and that. That's wrong. That's just
Sometimes you
you
might be
judge-
adding to
how do
it.
you call that? Ethnocentrism?
You're throwing
You judge
water
other
on a
people
grease
according to your
fire.
values and you're like, yeah, no, that's yeah.
Like you think it's helping, but you're not.
So
It's like whenever you had white friends. Whenever you had white friends, and your white friend would say, "If your mama hates you, just call the police." No, I will die before the police gets here, and that's what happened in your house.
so earlier I said you can't help by going somewhere for 2-3 weeks. You don't even understand the problem. You don't understand
Nope.
the culture. How could you ever? You have these people going here. Imagine going to fucking Uganda. Wow, you gay. There. Seeing a young child you may be confused about his young Ugandan child. And you come in here from fucking San Francisco, fucking butt plugs out there. Whatever you got going on. Shout outs to you. Rainbows.
Hey, that's cool.
What does that have to
Listen, you know what I mean? Listen, live whatever you got.
You went from
Yeah, do what you gotta do.
Because rainbows and leprechauns.
Rainbows and like, okay.
Okay.
Leprechauns.
And you come in and you're trying to talk to this person without taking the time to understand. You're coming in from your own cultural experience and theirs, and there's no overlap.
What do you mean? You live in Jamaica? You should totally come out to your parents.
You
Why?
understand why I say the insidious stuff isn't necessarily the money and them virtues. I don't care. The problem is the communities that they get involved in and how bad it is for them. This is the issue.
couldn't quite see how the advice she was giving
Yeah,
this young woman
it's not the
could affect
same
her.
rules.
The directors of the orphanage did not see the children's health.
Their
as a
way is not the right
priority. We
way.
were
Reality
advised
is
by other
amoral.
long-term volunteers at the orphanage that when residents did get malaria, despite there being money to pay for them to get medical care, they were not provided with medical care. The leadership of the orphanage were unwilling to spend the money. 80% of children who live at orphanages have not lost one or both parents. They are not orphans. They don't have birth certificates. They don't have IDs. No one knows who they are or where they are. These children are anonymous. The thing that really haunts me is the connection between orphanages and child trafficking.
There was a story that broke out a little while ago about this white dude from England who went to Thailand. And it's just like, somewhere on the deep web, a bunch of images are showing up of like anything from toddlers to young kids getting killed, okay, getting ran through. And it was like such disturbing stuff, but they're showing up the dark web. And it ended up happening that a sting in the U.S. ended up finding this dude's name and location, and then it came back, and he was a volunteer tourism person. He's someone who's supposed to go to these orphanages and help. Young man, 25, 23, and basically he was using the kids, and like some of the organizers knew about it. They were trying to hide it because they didn't want the scandal back on them, or they were getting money under the table. But yes, especially in these places where there's no laws, where poverty is abundant and anyone can be bought.
Yeah.
People of media means go there, and that's where they do their
Do-
stuff. You know,
A
it's
lot.
not something that brings me pleasure to break the news to anybody or tell folks about
From
it. It's just-
UK, Australia, and the US, they
people
lead
leave
in
Western bubbles
the
and gain
sex
most of the
trafficking when it comes to who's doing it.
So
It's
what
people
you said is
from
a
there.
connection. His
The
life-
US, the
That's what it
UK,
like.
top
Brothers,
English-speaking
you know what I'm
countries.
saying?
They go
Anytime
to
you see volunteer
poor
tourism, anytime you see
countries
NGOs, guess what?
and
They're
they
probably
do
got a
their
bunch of
thing
scandals involving diddling kids.
because they
Your
can
favorite NGOs.
throw out the
Favorite
narrows,
organizations.
and that's all it
Name them,
takes.
put in the words child diddling right beside it, and there's going to be a bunch of articles popping up.
Yep.
And that's just the stuff that you hear about.
Even
Yeah.
Even the NATO.
Oh yeah, the
Even
peacekeepers.
the NATO peacekeepers.
Peace for who?
Peace for really. The only thing about peacekeepers is because they keep pieces on them, and that's it.
There are Brits, there are Americans.
It's a crazy
there are
world out
Australians
here.
who've been arrested, and that's just the tip of the iceberg for exploiting children while making money from people like me who wanted to do good.
That's disgusting,
Volunteerism
bro.
is continuing to grow as an industry.
Like,
The chip providers who are the most successful were actively marketing.
man, there need to be things for people like that. Like, there need to be a special like jail they send people like that to. Cause you doing that, you use money to do that. Like, this is just evil, dog. Like, flat evil. Like, you playing with children with the bread that you somehow acquire. Like, you're a dangerous individual. Cause and then got people to cover it up for you because they don't want to get the backlash because they might lose. No, is important. Fuck the money. The kids are in danger. Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, this what I mean by just degenerate motherfucking shit, dog. That money just brings people to do. And it's not just money too. It's just his own desire. He's sick, but he has the means to do it because he's getting money. They fall near like, how the hell you get this far? And doing this all the time. They're like, oh, I can do it all the time. I'm volunteer. We get donations. This is practically for free.
As an opportunity to escape COVID and pretend like it didn't exist. You can say that you are giving 100% of fees back to a community without doing that. You can say those things because no one's checking up on you. No one's verifying that this is happening. The reason why it continues to increase is that many of the experiences that are similar to what I had as a volunteer of having children running towards me and wanting to sit on my lap and wanting me to carry them are still so emotionally compelling. They're still so alluring. It feels so good.
Those people are not checked because mainly most of these organizations, just like church and everything, do not pay taxes. They don't have to tell nobody where the money goes. They
Nope.
don't have to keep a book. Why? Because they don't have to. They don't pay taxes. They don't keep a book. Money comes in, money comes out. How much money comes in? Man. How much money comes out? And where? Man. They don't have to do that. So,
You know, and shout out to her. I appreciate her coming out to say this stuff and all this stuff. But same time,
Yeah.
I've been doing it for 10 years.
This ain't nothing
That's a
new.
long fucking time. Yeah.
This
That's a long
ain't
time to
nothing new.
Not that I can tell you. I'm just saying. 10 years? That's a long.
They've been
fucking
doing
time.
this in the 60s, the 50s. If you really go back, like traffic, it just right now it's just way easier now.
Little African child that they claim to love so much, but I haven't spoken to in 10 years. Like, I roll my eyes.
and I move on.
You know, I roll my eyes.
That's it's the world we live in.
Build a fucking school. Melissa, shut up. You're not building nothing.
Yeah.
Okay? You have to imagine, like, think of the arrogance of thinking you're gonna build a school. This is so crazy. Because you know they don't. Because they know they wouldn't be allowed to build a home here. So they
Nope.
go to these countries and say they're gonna build a home under standards they know would never be acceptable here.
Just
So there's a
that-
certain
just
level
that-
of arrogance and disgust.
Just that
that I have.
concept. Just that concept is fucked up. Would you build a house here? No, because we have standards. Oh, so they don't. So they get crumbs. Ah, okay. Yeah. Okay.
And it's not like this is like, oh, I'm gonna make her a cake. It's a home. A landslide happens, everyone dies because you didn't build it properly. What are you talking about? The reason why we have these regulations is to avoid casualties. But you just think that with you, with zero education, zero knowledge, anything, you're gonna go out here and you're gonna fucking save lives. From what? Rain? What happens when everything comes falling down on them? No. That's the part that makes me unsympathetic to these young people who are doing this. It's like, you should know better, you just don't care to because you want to be ignorant to the fact. That's it, because it makes you feel good to think you're helping. But you know what? The road to hell is paved with good intention, and this is a hard example of that. That's my boss.
Hey, it is what it is. I think I watched this.
TikTok scam began with this Reddit.
Oh, yeah, I watched this. Let me not, because I don't want nobody saying that, I just play. I really don't care, but I'm gonna find something new. Gotta look for paid surveys, bro. But what else? I think I want to watch some Fresh and Fit because they're in the
Perfect
UK.
podcast. Fire show in UK. Let's go.
All right. Oh shit! Too fast. Skip around,
Big
boy.
Man Singers Castillo, the main event. I do everything, Rev. That's all you need to know. You get me? You already know I am, innit? So you already know, Rev. I know.
Oh, on all platforms.
Platforms, Rev. Those streams.
The Brev.
It's me, Shine
Brev.
Reynolds. I host a date show.
I don't
Today,
even
which
say
you guys
that
have
shit,
seen, and
Brev.
Special Fit have reacted to it. Yeah.
All right, it's King Riches on YouTube, obviously. Some of you know me, some of you don't. If you don't, go check out my channel now, or after this live stream, and subscribe, all of that good stuff. Yeah, let's get it.
And Troy Francis, I'm a dating coach, I'm a dating writer, Red Pill,
Confused.
Like based in London.
Oh, they're
Yeah,
probably
follow me
still
on
on.
YouTube, just type in like Troy Francis and you'll find me.
Guys, Myron's here, but behind the scenes helping us because Chris isn't here. Of course, he's a bum. But that being said, let's start the show. So there's an elephant in the room, as we all know. What is better? What's the dating culture like versus the States and the UK? Give your opinion on what's going on. Because I'm not gonna lie, bro. It's depressing as hell here. I'm not gonna time. I'm not
I
gonna lie
swear
to
to
you.
God, that's what I put on my Insta story, all of that, bro. I'm
saw that.
done. I wanna get out of here. I swear down.
You wanna start then?
Right. Do you know what it is? It's like what I said yesterday, bro. Grey clouds, bro. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like literally, like the weather and the money, it just makes people miserable. Bro, like the only time girls smile is if they got alcohol inside them. Bro.
Ah,
Which is quite frequently.
Yeah, because they have
Yeah.
to be so flipping miserable.
Yeah.
Yeah, just drown your sorrows, isn't it? So yeah, man, I want to go somewhere where the sun's
Fred
out.
got start
you know,
saying,
and
"Let's go
smiling
like a
and-
robot."
you know what I mean? So,
Don't
So
forget
you've
to
been
like
in
the
the US
video.
for football, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
give us a little bit take on like your take on the US.
well, obviously, my experience was like a college football experience, and that's not just like normal guy going over there. Like, obviously, oh my god, you play football? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're from England? Oh my god, you know the Queen? Like, all of that kind of stuff. And then like, so I had a good
Some
experience.
dumb
like,
shit.
Obviously,
You're
smashing
not a
girls first time
queen.
you meet them, all of that kind of stuff. Like, that's standard, innit? But like, yeah, I just feel like the girls in the USA, they're just more like forward with it. Like, well, over here, they're a little bit, not that they're not like ratchet and like 304s and hoes and that, but it's just a little bit more reserved. Like, our culture in the UK is more reserved than in the USA. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, if a girl likes you, she's gonna just put it on the plate. Like, she's gonna put it out there for you to know. So I say that, and I like that. You know what I'm saying? Because at that time, I was a bit of a scumbag.
You're a bit of a scumbag, not a waste
Just in
man.
general, I just think that for me in the UK is a bit. Of
I'm
bad
trying to
vibes
get
and
hip
all
to the
that.
lingo. I watched Chewing Gum and
But
Misfits.
I'll let someone else speak.
You've been in the US for a little bit as well.
Yeah.
You've been here most of your life, I believe. So
Yes.
tell us your take on it.
Well, I mean, I agree with a lot of what's been said, to be honest. I mean, like, it's pretty grey, it's pretty depressing. I mean, there are, without doubt, we're in London now, right? There's, without a doubt, there are some I know you've had a but less than favourable experience so far, but there are some beautiful women here, man. I mean, there really are.
Here
It's
I go.
just-
Look
it
from my
doesn't help
phone.
that the weather's turned, it's a bit grey, it's a bit like whatever, you know. In terms of the actual difference with the States, personally for me, right, I've spent a lot of the summer, I've been in Eastern Europe, so I've been in Poland. It's been absolutely fantastic, you know, just beautiful girls, just very, very welcoming, great culture. You know, we travel around a lot, so, you know, and we'll go to South America later in the year, we'll go to Mexico, we'll go to Colombia, probably go to Argentina in the new year. I was traveling to places like Ukraine before, obviously, you know, the war started, and indeed into Russia as well. And I mean, those kind of places outside of the Anglosphere, for me, that's where the real cream of the dating culture is. The States, I do like it. I like Miami. There's some beautiful women in Miami, particularly the Latinas. They're very, very beautiful women. But is it particularly a paradise for men in the States either? I would say probably not myself. So for me, it's getting out of the Anglosphere entirely, really.
Yeah, can I just say, because again, I'm just gonna add in my experience was of college football. That you're like, because it's like over there, it's like kind of like gangs when you're in college. Like, oh, you're on the football team, you're on the basketball team, baseball team, stuff like that. So it's kind of like you've already got clique, you've already got gang, you already got status. You
Yeah.
get what I'm saying? Like, and then I was foreign as well. That was it. Like, it was a rap. Like, do you get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But like for the average guy, like, because obviously I had loads of friends there. Some of them guys they weren't getting no play. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, a lot of the people I lived with, they were just looking at me bringing in girls, and it's oh, Mike's got another one. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, so
It's a bit different for us as well because we've got the British accent, and people always say, "Oh, you go to America, the girls love the British accent." And there, I don't know whereabouts you were.
I was
in
in
your country.
North Carolina.
Right. Okay. So that probably played really well for
Yeah.
you, I would think. I mean, for me personally, I've been to like Miami, I've been to Vegas, I've been to New York, and that's about it really. And I mean, in those places, big cosmopolitan sort of places, they're not so blown away. I mean, they were a little bit like in Miami, even when I was on one of the shows. You know, the girls and oh my god, that British accent, you know, kind of thing. But it doesn't in the big metropolitan centers. I don't think it plays as well as it could do maybe in some of the smaller places. But we do have a kind of a favourable experience when we go there because we're British. We've got that kind of point of difference. Gives us a little bit of exotic value, I think. So that helps a bit.
Go on, Shane. Tell them about the dating experience.
I think it's different though for women, and I kind of feel like, from my experience, we don't actually know how to date. It's kind of like a hookup culture where no one has dating intentions. Like for me, I personally date for a relationship, so I find it really hard because it's kind of like I know that women we always say we want honesty from men, but then the moment men are like, well, we only just want to like have sex, then we're just like really triggered.
Yeah.
It's
I
hard.
don't
It's
know why
hard.
girls even say that. Oh yeah, just say you want to smash. Like yeah, like that really
that
works.
doesn't work, man. That
Yeah,
doesn't
that
work.
shit does not work.
No, but
She's almost no. I
it's
doesn't.
starting to, like for me now, I'm at a point in my life where I really
Man.
thought I wanted serious, but I kind of feel like this next year I just want to have fun, and it's not as in
You
like
just
oh,
wanna
yeah,
have
oh, yeah,
fun?
before you even try come for me, Byron
It's like,
especially.
guys,
She's gonna have fun.
Shout out your Instagram.
Yeah, guys in the chat. Guys in the chat.
But I just want to like experience just going on dates, getting to know people, and just like having fun because I kind of feel maybe it's an English thing where we put so much pressure because we are quite reserved, so it's hard to just kind of have sex freely. And I also think that's because of misogynistic views. It's so hard for women to want to just go and have sex on a date. Like it is. Like you guys can like disagree or whatever, but that's my personal opinion. I do think that.
Yeah.
Do you know what it is here for me when it comes to like the dating thing? The big difference, like I've always gotten gal in it, like in terms of when I got my shit together. So like for me, it's kind of the same everywhere in the sense where, like once you level up in certain ways, like if you ain't got money, you can get a little status and you can kind of work your way through it. Kind of like what you said, you can work your way through it. So for me in the UK especially, like I've never really.
I feel like you should stack your bread up before you become, like, try to put yourself out there. It'll work better because you have one thing to fall back on, like Andrew Tate, like, or even Fresh and Finn and them boys was stacking their bread. They got a studio together. Look what they at now. They solely make money off just the internet presence, which is really good. Like to monetize your presence on the internet is just crazy. People going to pay for you to come out. There's more content, there's more things. You get to meet people. Networking is crazy out here. Networking is gold. It's better than some network is better than having status. To be honest, you could be high status like oh you got a whole bunch of followers and stuff, but if you're not well connected or you're at least not networking, it's not gonna last too long. So
He had a problem with that. But the main
like
thing is though,
it's kind of weird how everybody won't be selfish when it's not even that hard. Even though you guys got like different reviews and stuff, is whatever.
when I learned earlier is that you need to have something. So here, I think the big difference is a status thing will get you very, very fast. Meaning in the sense that, I'll give you a perfect example, yeah? So back in the day, I used to go to a lot of events, yeah? And I look the same way, get me? I still got one or two things like looking at me or whatever and whatever, but like, I'd see certain men, they would literally get everything. They would clean up. Yeah, then I started wondering to myself, what the fuck are they doing? Yeah. So then I started saying, when I started working out what was going on, I started being on that same wave. I said, let me get myself something. I started doing events. So I said to myself, let me get myself some kind of title, something where people will like
recognize you exactly.
It's not some. Like,
Is there
dickhead just standing there like,
Random.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
random. So then when I come through the next time, I had like a little bit of a name, a little bit of something for myself. Doors started opening up, and then I started realizing it was like a cheat code. You get me? And then things would just
It's really good to be a household name for a good reason, not bad reasons. But when you're a household name, where people can be like, "Oh, I know who you're talking about," like two people get to better, and you never even met the person, but we all know who you're talking about. Then that's something to be recognized for good reasons. Not saying like be infamous or anything.
they'd be more receptive to you. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, they'd be more open to talk to you. They'd be more open to like.
What's the first thing you say that you did? Like, what's the first change you made that really like was like, right, okay.
Is that raw? Okay.
The maddest thing, so this was way before social. So like the main thing was like when I was doing my events thing, and then people knew that I did that. So like when I was talking to girls and they're like, "What'd you do for yourself?" Instead of being like, I do
Chilling.
this. Yeah, man, just here. Like, do you know what I mean? I had something. Yeah, I do events. I'm an events manager. I've got a thing in Central London coming up soon. I've got a thing in South. Like, you should come. It's like they respond to you a bit differently. Then they
Yeah.
look at you like, like you're not so many. So then even when you approach, you can even kind of navigate that because then they're not like, you're some dickhead trying to chat to me. They're looking at it like, you can go, I got something coming up. So then it's something to lead a conversation. It's an easier opener.
It's not like a direct. I'll give you a number.
Yeah.
It's status, isn't it? I mean, status seems to be for women. I mean, the key thing. I mean, people talk about looks, don't they? Like, it's all about looks, it's all about money, whatever. I think ultimately status for women. I mean, because if you're a super high status guy, you don't even necessarily. I mean, a lot of high status guys do have money, but you don't even necessarily need to. Do you know what I mean? If you've got that high status, like if you look at somebody who's been on Love Island, like some bloke who's been on Love Island. Now he might start earning money when he comes off his Instagram or whatever, but even if he doesn't, he's still going to get girls who want to be with him because he's got that status, you know. So
I always say that looks mad though.
they do.
100% because
On some level, yeah.
I don't know. You see the people updated. Just hopefully.
Shout out to the Gremlins, man.
You know, but listen, I think that looks mad because the looks will determine how she's gonna like interact with you, where she classifies you. Do you know what I'm saying? So like,
Yeah, big facts.
Like, if the looks are like poor, then yeah, the status comes in, the money comes in. Like, what can he do for me? What can I get out of him? But if it's just a thing of like, she looks at you, right? I like that. I want to sleep with him, bro. All that stuff don't matter, bro. He can be
True.
broke, bro. I've banged girls broke, bro, in America and here, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You lot done it as well, innit?
You could honestly, okay.
I think on the show, President Fit me by myself all the time.
So, ain't no. We all can agree that making more money is a good thing. Being able to make more money is a good thing. I'm not saying it's just for guys. Sometimes they gotta understand. Sometimes your problem may be that you just don't make enough bread, bro. Sorry. You could be a good guy. You could be a handsome guy. You don't make enough money, bro. It is what it is. That is what it is. The whole point is that we're fresh and fit. That's the point is, take care of yourself. Put yourself in a position to make money. Don't let people screw you over. There's a lot of things people want for you as a man who can provide. So you're gonna understand that their goal is to you can bag girls, but you don't want to be broke and bagging girls. You want to have bread and bagging girls. You feel me? The option is better for you as a guy. At least she won't be like, he was a broke ass nigga, all that dumb shit.
One thing, one trait to attract women, we start
But you gonna give them ammo if you really don't, if you're not on your point.
clout, because that right there, bro, transcends all generations. Because, for example, let's say she's like Hispanic, white, black, doesn't matter. If you got clout, bro, her parents will look past it because you have clout. So just
And you see
makes
what
sense.
you said there first, just like
Our
exactly
friends
what
will
you
look
said.
past it because he got
Outside of
clout.
currency.
Yeah.
Clout is the
Attention.
new currency. It's
Yeah,
social
but
credit.
It's like, isn't it? 'Cause you're right.
Social
If
credit,
you're good
bro.
looking, you trigger her.
The social credit system. You just gotta be appealing to everybody. But you could be a terrible person.
She's just gonna, absolutely. She's gonna wanna just
Smash.
wanna get with
Clout
you.
gets you so
But
far.
ultimately, if you look at all of these like old politicians and these guys who are like, and they're getting you know, they're getting their end away like consistently.
Is that what they're doing, yeah?
How are they?
Well,
Well,
you know
I believe. Well, look, I mean,
Science.
well, look at Boris Johnson. I mean, like, not. I mean, whether he's a good-looking guy or not, I don't know. But I mean,
Has he got bad beats?
well, his
Yeah.
current girl is, you know, his wife is not bad. You know? So I'm just saying that status can trump this other stuff, but you don't need it. That's the key point. If people are watching this thinking, oh shit, I better become a multi-millionaire and super famous, you don't need that stuff though, because you can bypass that if you present yourself in the right way. If you optimize your looks, if you get in shape, you know, it's the money muscle game stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, but do you think, sorry, do you think that because when you have status, you're then confident? Because I would just rule everything out and say,
And
more
it's
about
tied to
confidence,
it's
and I
tied to
kind of
your
feel maybe
confidence. You make more money, you're in shape, bro. You're gonna be confident.
Once you've got status, your presence will change because you're more confident, because
Yeah.
maybe you feel better about yourself. So I see it from the perspective as it's more men with confidence, because you can be ugly, but if you're confident, if you're funny, I will be gravitating towards you.
You know what? Saying that, you know what? You're 100%
She ain't gonna fuck you though. She ain't gonna date you though. That's
right. But going back to what King said, it's like,
let's
for
be
me,
honest.
even
She
if
gonna
you're
be like,
straight,
yeah,
even
I
if you're
would, but
as
come
a
on.
man, you want to look good anyway. Because I'll be real with you. It's like it's all good being the big fish in your small pond.
She gonna be
Yeah,
like, I
chilling
like
with
that,
bare
but
fish.
she's
But
not
my
gonna
thing
go
is,
for it
you wanna
for
look
her.
good, so then you feel like, yo, man wants to go Brazil. Wanna go to
Unless you
Honduras,
got
and
clout or
then
money,
some fat brother with man boobs,
which
bro,
is
and
the
then
whole
you feel like you
point.
got bare status, bro.
And-
Like, nobody knows
So
that,
you
bro.
could be
Like, walking
ugly
around with six-packs and that.
and
You're like,
funny,
And another
and you
thing,
make some
yeah,
money.
okay, boom, your
You
guy
gonna
with
get the
status,
honey.
cool, yeah? But that doesn't mean the girl won't cheat with the guy that she's naturally attracted to.
True.
Bro, like, man,
Big
bro,
facts.
like, I was smashing some
Oh.
girl, her boyfriend, I'm not even gonna get too technical with it, but her
Name
boyfriend,
names.
nah.
No.
But yeah, like, boom, like her boyfriend,
Ah,
bruv,
boom.
he's status in the ends, all of that, bro.
Stop.
Taking me on holidays, bought a car, Rolly, white gold chain, all of that, bro. But I had the white gold chain on my neck, bro.
Fucking a bitch with those.
Bro,
But they don't
imagine
even
that,
pronounce
and then,
the
like, I had
T,
nothing,
bro.
She bought me trainers for my birthday, bro.
See that, bruv? Stressing your
Like, and I
life.
was, like, imagine that I'm laying next to the girl and the boy's on the phone, like, yeah, you're alright, all this, red, I'm just thinking, bro,
That sounds
like,
like a scene in Black, bruv. That sounds bad.
nah, like, because when I deep it now, because obviously you've had these experiences as well.
I'm a sniper.
When you have these
Yeah,
experiences, it makes you
sniper
look at the
game.
differently. So even if you have a girlfriend, you're thinking, right, like,
that.
I don't, where are you right now? Do you
No,
know
no,
what I'm
no,
saying?
do
Like,
you know the thing is, yeah, it's like literally.
you can chime in as well. You know,
Yeah, no,
I'm talking shit.
Yeah, she thinks she like, damn, yeah, I do be doing that sometimes. Be with a nigga when I'm just like,
Yeah.
Like, it's not like me chatting to me like anything, and then if we go to a restaurant or something like that, we go. Let's say we go Miami, yeah, and I'm chilling. I bring my girl to Miami. We're chilling, yeah, and I got stats, I got money. She likes me, my little small pond or whatever. And I see some wedge 6'5" brother, muscles and shit, but I'm gonna feel like an idiot because I know she's gonna look. She's gonna do the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
She's gonna do that. That's gonna make me feel like an idiot.
But that's suggesting it's all about looks.
A
Well, I mean,
eater.
it's
I don't know what
all
he's
about
talking
looks,
about.
okay, like whatever we call
A
status.
eater, not eater.
Not just status, but actually how you like all of what you're talking about, like confidence is like how you come across. Because I've met loads of guys. I mean, we train with guys who are like jacked, but they're not actually that successful in terms of the dating, and they're decent looking as well. So
That is
that
true.
Important, but you know, like the
Is it because
You
they
be
want sex
successful
together?
in life and
Yeah,
not be
exactly.
successful in
Yeah,
dating.
Yeah, but the doomers will say, well, if you're not good looking, if you're not 6'6", if you haven't got, you know, whatever, then you're screwed. I don't believe that's true because I think actually it's also the interpersonal stuff that really helps.
So you think, okay, let me ask you this. So you think, yeah, a guy that's 5'4",
It's not in black and white,
and
bro.
he's like Shrek,
can kill it.
he can kill it. He can just get 8s or 9s.
No, I don't think that. I think you've got to, no. There's got so right. There's got to be baseline looks. You've got to meet her baseline level of looks.
Okay.
So I'm not saying the guy who looks like Shrek, you know, and he's really, you know, he's not tall and he's not jacked or whatever. Like he's suddenly going to be fully victorious. But I do think that there's an imbalance on the internet, particularly with like the Black Veil, the Doomer people, who are like, oh no, man, it's over. Just sit in your bedroom and give up.
Yeah, I don't like
Like,
that shit. Yeah.
Like, I don't believe that, and I think guys, I don't know what you're, but I reckon guys, you call it confidence. Like you could say game, you could say, you know, however you want to express it. But I think guys can elevate that by the way they put themselves.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's like, it's well, yeah, I think it's just different
Got
in
the
general with
squeaky
like,
ass
how we
chair,
see things,
bro.
because it's like you can be a man with status.
I
and
need a
then
better
you can
gamer
have,
chair.
like an ego and be arrogant, and then that's probably why women will look like you're just like a bankroll in them. Because why would I respect you if you're disrespectful to everyone else and you think that you can just buy me? So if you're gonna just keep buying me gifts, that you're enabling this behavior for me to just want to accept and take from you. So I'm not gonna rate you.
Honestly,
No,
what
no,
he's
but,
talking
like,
about.
I'm not gonna rate you if you can't give me like your time. A lot of men think just buying you things and gifting. That's
Sniper
enough.
out
That's
on
not
all
enough. I feel like
digital
women want that
platform,
more
bruv.
intimate, you know, level kind of.
I think it's safe
connection
to say that like you need everything. Like nowadays,
Yeah.
bro, like you can have one thing, like just have money, just have looks, but like to retain a girl long term, you need everything because dude, they're not selling for nothing. They want what's out there and they want everything. Social media, they say guy traveling, guy with muscles, they want everything, bro. So in our outlook, profession fit, you gotta have everything down pat.
You know, I got to add something to this though. Like,
Just say have
there's some
everything
games
down
for men,
pat.
yeah. Like, right
Or at
now,
least try.
I saw, like, on the internet, there's a
Try
Chinese
stay,
brother, he went
try
to
get your money up,
Olympics,
stay in
went
shape,
from fucking 5'4".
Yeah.
The guy's 5'7", brother. So like, I'm
and have good relationship with girls, like the relationship you want, that both of you guys want.
You get it done in Turkey as well.
Big
apparently.
man.
Is that when they break the legs? And then
Yeah,
they-
that's
Well, how many inches though? How many inches?
Just a few things.
But to be real, your legs are fucked though. You can't do
Yeah,
shit,
you're
bro.
fucked.
You're
You're
fucked.
fucked. That recovery's serious,
When you're
bro.
older, you're screwed.
Well, James Tusker was meant to be here, who's unfortunately not with us today, 'cause he's traveling, but he had a client who was
Oh, I'm about
I
to
think
say.
5'7" or something like that. So not even
Yeah, not
terribly
yeah,
tall, but you know, he was not happy with his height, and he went to Turkey and he got the operation done. And it was like 6 months of, you know, one leg, he got like 3 inches on one leg, and then 6 months recovery time, and then 3 inches on the other leg. So you've actually got an interim period where you've got one leg longer than the other.
Fucking hell, man.
Well, this is how he did it. Then at the end of it, he came in at sort of just over 6 foot or 6'1" or whatever.
That's it.
But he's massively happy with it, apparently.
But real talk, yeah, but we got to give a disclaimer though, man. Then let a few men go through that first before you do it, bruv, because otherwise you're gonna be walking out here, bruv. Your leg's gonna snap like some Weetabix, bruv. So
So we'll be.
You're not yourself yet, bro.
I need some subtitles, bro. I don't know.
I guess the next
Let me
question is,
see.
bring this up now.
That's it. Let me see.
All right, I know you guys are like wondering, yo, Myron, where the hell you at, et cetera, et cetera. I'm behind the scenes, guys, because as you know, Fresh has no technical capabilities. So I'm running the show in the back, man. I am the producer. So we're gonna hit some of these chats real quick, guys. We appreciate all the donations. So number one is
Fresh.
we got Big Mo in the chat as well. Shout out to you, my friend. Yeah,
Big Mo.
Big Mo. Okay, so we got number one goes. Okay, Big Man Ting, yeah, Chian be looking nice, bro. She looked like the type of gal to go away holiday with her girls while man's back home on a sad ting. Okay, that's what SME. And then we got Laughing Man goes just a shout out the FNF gang out over there. Wish you a safe trip back. Hope no chingy going on. LOL, great show. Yeah, that fucking guy to chase him down, but I came to my senses. I miss y'all already. $2 from Monkey D. Don't worry, we'll be back soon. We'll be in Romania tomorrow, guys. With the Tate Brothers. $5 from Last Thoughts goes. Yo, Fresh, when is Myron going on the show with Cheyenne? Yes, guys, I did film a grilling episode with Cheyenne. I know they've been spamming it in the chat. Like, did you go to talk to Cheyenne? Yeah, so Fresh did his day, and I did one as well. So yeah, Cheyenne hates me, so it's fine. It's fantastic.
No.
No, I'm just kidding. Fresh can't do anything technical. King Cream, shout out to Mr. Producer Myron in the back. Is true FNF fashion. We gotta welcome Cheyenne, asking her to give us a spin. No, right now. We're in the middle of a conversation. Sniper out on all digital platforms. Brev.
No way.
This is after. This is a regular episode. And then $5 from Girls Vision goes. Shout out to all my brothers. Stay safe, Fresh and Myron. Shout out to Rod Eric, Big Mo, and he goes BIT se puedo concerto Julia. Okay, fantastic. And then hi Myron, that's from Big Mo. Shout out to you.
She's from the UK. She looks Spanish though, but she's
Myron,
not.
could you jump in for a minute? No disrespect to Fresh. Yo, they said that you look like the sheets in the back or some shit like that.
Ha! He look like the jersey. I can't. He do fit in the background.
Go to a Geeky Comic Con and you'll
I
see
forgot he was even there.
Your social interests play a role in who you attract. Okay, that could be something to discuss as well. Then stop using the 1 to 5% as the new
I
standard.
thought that was the logo on the couch.
And that's from BKR. Okay, so here I'll turn to you, Fresh. You got your question. All right, so we're all content creators here. We make content, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok. Thoughts on Andrew Tate and cancellation? Is it fair? What's going on? Thoughts on it?
No, I don't think so. I don't think it's fair. I mean, I think that I don't think any cancellation is fair, really. I think that I believe in freedom of speech. I think they should be allowed to speak their view. In regard to Andrew specifically, I mean, he said some kind of contentious things. I think there's a lot of humour in what he talks about. There's a lot of it. He's saying things that are slightly, I think, tongue-in-cheek. He's taking it slightly further. I don't think it's hard when you look at it to pinpoint exactly what it is that he's actually said that is so horrendous. Right? It seems to me. Well, I think we all know what happened. It was basically like, one platform buckled, and then the next one going, oh, we're going to get rid of this guy, and the next platform. So no, I don't think it was fair. And actually, I think you'll see on balance, actually, a lot of what he talks about is really helpful to guys. I've seen lots of guys writing comments saying, oh, this shouldn't have happened because he actually encouraged me to lift weights. He's encouraged me to start my own business, to work, to do all this stuff. And yeah, I think it's a shame. I don't think it should have happened, but those guys are resilient and they'll obviously keep going and get bigger. So.
That's actually interesting. They are all creators.
I got banned off TikTok recently, and that's really annoying. I didn't really say nothing too crazy. And to be honest, I don't think Andrew said anything that is too obscene. Like, do you get what I'm saying? And I just think it's just unfair that.
I'm gonna do super chats. I'm not gonna watch this whole thing because this is like, it's an hour, but I'm not gonna watch the whole thing. I'm probably flip through more.
Takes are gonna be alright. They got a huge fan base. Like, they're gonna be alright.
Yeah, Andrew Tate and them gonna be alright.
That's what it is. That's what I think.
They already have bread. They're not like
I don't think he should have been banned.
Don't got no
anyone
money.
should get banned for expressing anything. But I do believe, in my personal opinion, that it was more about his influence. So it's not really what he said, because I kind of feel with great power comes great responsibility. And just if you see, like for me personally, I don't, on my episode of Grinning with Andrew, I couldn't come on social media for a month because it was horrible. Like the way people were attacking me, attacking my character for no reason. And that's because it was the influence that Tate had. It's like this culture of, like, I know people call it incel culture, but that's what it is. And I know that there's the majority of people that he really helped, but for the people that don't quite understand.
Yeah, there is a culture of those type of dudes out there. Their sneakers, they be talking crazy.
To be fair though, he has.
They'll look at a girl who's like clearly her 8 and they be like, oh, it was just 4. And I'm like, nigga, you have not even touched no booty probably in your life for you to even be talking like that. Like, shut the fuck up. You just mad because you get no ass. Just say that. Like, they be saying some wild shit. It be sounding like they're like kids, or like teenagers, and maybe young adults.
Sort of spoken. He said.
I don't know, bro. It's weird.
We're not about hating on people. We're not about. He sort of tried to make that clear. I mean, maybe you could say that's after the fact. He do it. But I think there's always been a certain degree of honour, really, in him and his personal conduct. But I do take your point that there's going to be people watching it that maybe, they may be taking it the wrong way.
And I think as well, like for women, some things were triggering, and I know obviously like the kink video that everyone saw that looked like domestic violence. So it's easy to also take clips from the internet and run with your own agenda and narrative with things. But at the same time, for people that aren't educated in that, I can see how it could be triggering. And I kind of feel social media platforms have a responsibility to filter things out and have to like block them. But Andrew should come back on social media though.
Yeah, for real. Big Man Sing, like, for me, you kind of said kind of what I was thinking as well. Like, I did like a video about it, so go check out my YouTube, right? Big Man Sing. But yeah, I didn't think he should have been banned because me personally, I've said this a few times before. I kind of like to get a balanced view on everybody's opinion. Like, I feel like I like to hear what everybody thinks. Like, there's a lot of people that I listen to on YouTube. I'm not going to say their name, right, before the Matrix locks me out. But you know what I mean? There's a lot of controversial people that I listen to on social media, a lot of them. And to be fair, like, this is aside from Andrew, and I'm going off tangent or whatever, but there's even people that, like, big up Andrew, by the way, but there's people on social media that I may not have like been a fan of or like their message of just a clip, and then I deep dived into what they were saying, and I was like, oh, they got some good points. There's a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people on social media where you find a lot of gems in what they're saying. Yeah, do you get what I'm trying to say? And I feel like when you try and shut out someone or shut out what somebody's trying to say, it actually makes people even more curious to what you're trying to hide. So for me personally, it's almost like random again. I keep on going off things. It's almost like the Kevin Samuels thing. Like, I really started listening to Kevin Samuels, for example, towards the end. Like when he was a big, I didn't really listen to much of him when people was talking about him. But then when I started listening to him, the shit that I really kind of gravitated to was the shit he was saying about black men and leveling up and getting your shit together. That was quite what the message was.
Yeah.
Now, if they just locked him off because of some of the things that people didn't like, I may not have been able to get them gems, and a lot of people wouldn't have been educated on some of the things that he said. You know what I'm saying? My thing is this, like, and this is always my point. This is back to Andrew Tate. Like, if you don't like what somebody's saying, then you don't have to watch it. You know what I'm trying to say? But ultimately, like,
get the
social media
message.
platforms, like, we don't own them. We're just users on them. So they get to dictate their terms and whatever the fuck they want to do. Do you know what I'm going to say? So they ultimately are always going to protect their users. But like I said, going back to that, I do feel like people should be open to express how they feel, because you could learn from that. And if you don't like that, turn that shit off, bruv.
Yeah, I think there's a more general problem here and probably in the States as well of like people are just so worried about getting offended. Do you know what I mean? There's this whole culture of we can't offend anybody. If anybody gets offended, that's the thing. We've got to shut down anybody who might be offensive. And I don't think that's a good way for the
That's subjective. Like,
there's got to be limits, I suppose.
It's kind of like, for example, let's say you don't like watching what he says. Just don't watch it. Like, watch something else.
Just
like,
don't watch
his
it.
influence is
That's
very
it.
high, so like, they want to take him down.
If you don't like it, don't watch it. But why are you watching it? You hate watching,
you
bro.
creators as well. You're in space. How's dating been after the fact that you're a creator?
RPK Swiss, bro.
So before you were a regular person, living life, you're a creator on space. How's dating now? How do people treat you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really.
He's a
a huge thing, but I have to say I have had some issues since because it's tricky with this stuff because you say
yeah, dating after. I want to actually. This is like what?
And saying, you know, this is how it actually is out there.
20 minutes long. I'll do 20 minutes.
And it's very sort of straightforward, really. You know, I'm not trying to do anything that's particularly controversial. I don't think. But you know, when you're then dating, you're meeting women and stuff like that. Obviously, I've had girlfriends. My ex-girlfriend, right at the beginning, she didn't know what I did. Then she found out. She's kind of okay with it, but there are elements of it she wasn't okay with, and you get all of that. And then, you know, we split up, and then you start dating new people, and you know, so it really varies from person to person how they feel about it. Some girls absolutely cool with it; they just don't care. Other girls.
I'll just read your super chat. Nah, fuck the super chat. This is the last of it. I'm gonna flip to another stuff, but this is a good idea
So
of dating.
it's definitely caused some issues for me, for sure, and it's definitely something I have to be very conscious of now when I'm meeting somebody.
Do you get more girls now or less girls now that you're like a YouTuber? I guys come to YouTube, we're killing Facebook on Twitter. Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I don't think I'm really big enough to really get that halo effect. But funnily enough, actually, I have had some girls approaching me because of it. Actually, it's a small number, but I have had some. Yeah. So it's kind of interesting. Sometimes get hit up in the DMs, and
You know what I love? I'm walking the street, I'm on a date, and then they're like, "Yo, Fresh, oh my God, you changed my life." It's like, yeah, brownie points.
Well, that's happened to me a couple of times actually. It's not so much the girls, but it's happened a couple of times in Poland where I've been out at a cafe with a girl, and then a guy's come up and said hello to me and like shaking hands with me and everything. She's like, "Who's that?" I'm like, "What?" And then and that gives you a bit of a brownie point, I think, definitely. So, yeah.
That does.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Hey, listen. No, pretty much the same thing. Like, I'm not like a huge YouTuber, like, you know, these guys and that, like, you know, 40K go subscribe. Now, make me a big YouTuber, obviously. But yeah, like, obviously, some girls don't like it, innit? They don't want the attention.
Some girls want to be low key.
Like, you know what I mean? And that can cause some tension. It can be tense at times. Yeah, I've had that, you know, being out with a girl. Like, even one of my ex-girlfriends, like, we was in Woolwich, and I got recognized a few times still. And then she was like, "Oh, you think you're bad now, innit?" I was just like. It's good. But yeah, some girls are just not gonna want to fuck with you because it's like, nah, man, that's too much. Like, there's too much eyes on me.
Yeah.
And yeah. Another thing is girls that you've messed with in the past. If you talk about them like in the present, do you get what I'm saying? Like, so like you might reference them, and then you're gonna get some phone call. Why are you talking about me? So like some of them things happen. But
oh, I never even thought about that. That's weird.
Oh yeah, YouTube. Only like two. One Malaysian thing still.
So Riches, do you get more girls now or before?
I was getting girls before as well.
But what's like the
I'm not big enough. Go subscribe to me, bro.
You're not big enough.
More stories for you, bro. Come on.
I feel like for women it's different because we always get men. So I haven't really had the option where it's a dramatic difference. If anything, now it's probably like on a larger scale where I walk into a room and most of the men know who I am. So then it's just overwhelming, if anything. So it's just, I find it really hard. In fact, I'm not actually dating now.
Do you think you intimidate guys?
A lot of them say that I do, but like in person, I'm actually like a bit of a mouse. So I'm just like,
yeah, I thought you was gonna be like mean or something. But
I know.
Don't cap though. That's real here. What about your DMs? I guarantee.
Why do people think pretty girls are intimidating? They're just pretty. That's it. They not pretty. They're the attractive girls. Like they're just attractive. Like just talk to them. Even they, like I always got that. Not I got that, but I always like heard that from them. Like growing up in like school and stuff. Like they'd be like, people think I'm mean because I don't. I was like, yeah, because when you're pretty, you don't smile all the time, makes you look like you're mean, which is actually a thing. Like, if she just like have bare face and she's not smiling, people gonna think she's not entertained or she's bored or she's mean. But that's not even the case. It's just that's how their face looks. So people will be like, oh, she looks pissed.
Yo, come on my yard.
Oh no, definitely more. No, yeah. Yeah, my DMs are quite busy.
Always. You're a girl.
Me, honestly speaking, bro, not even in a bragging.
Even if you
I was
weren't
doing
known,
things
you-
before social media, but like a lot of things, I always got the things that I wanted. But from like my life has changed dramatically because of my social media. Like
Right.
dramatically, like I'm saying, like it's done a complete 180. Like 2017, I was doing nightclub bouncing and kitchen pool. I was still getting things, but when it comes to women, like my thing is now the big difference is, honestly speaking, there's no way I could move now how I was moving before. Right? So
Nope.
like, Gallum is still Gallum, and they're still doing. But my thing is now, it's like you have to be so sharp and you have to be so careful now. So it's almost like even when it comes to chatting to gal in DMs, I don't chat to gal in DMs because I have to be so cautious and so aware of who this person is. Whereas before, like, yo, I don't give a fuck. I chat to the gal anyway. Do you know what I mean? Even in real life, like I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like I was in Birmingham coming on a train, yeah, and a gal sat in front of me and I knew she knew who I was from socials, yeah. But this is how my life has changed dramatically. And I would say this is the negative, yeah. Like I'm so hyper aware of everything. So as soon as she sat in front of me, I pulled up my phone.
That's why this nigga wears shades on the inside of the house.
This gal might just try and
There's
say,
people
like,
that don't want their eyes to be
yeah,
seen.
And even another thing is even down to like, for example, like interaction. So when gal come up to me, they'll have like a perception of me already from social media. So how they'll speak to me might be how they perceive me, and so then I have to talk to them on a level like, right, I'm trying to say. So now it's like I have to be hyper aware. Even when gal come up to me to take pictures when I'm in a rave or when I'm out and about, I keep my hands right in front of me just to let people know like man's not doing anything.
You got to be hyper aware, like in general, like with everyone.
But especially in this day and age, like I said, like the way I was living before when I had bare gal and all them different type of things. Yeah, my thing is just like now it's twofold. Now it's because I have to be aware, and I guess because now I'm a bit older, I think I understand gal a bit differently. So whereas on my savage thing, like I might just beat a thing, fuck, and then she might just go on. I might not chat to her for like weeks, bruv. Like I just don't check in on her. But now I like chat to her. I keep the thing going because now I understand like how they're perceiving me. They're just looking at me like, right, like this brother's cold. Like I'm gonna say because I was cold. So now it's like me, because of my socials. It's just I just have now like a huge extra responsibility because like
So it's like you're not gonna burn bridges.
No, but not even that. Not even like on the real. I'm black, obviously. But my thing is like when you're black, you have to be extra cautious with gal. Like this is like you're black. When you're growing up, like your parents done told you, like be careful around gal. You don't know, you could chat to girl. Next thing they say something about you, and then it's a mad thing. So I've always had that. But my thing is this: in this day and age, you just have to be very, very aware who you're talking to, how you're chatting to them, because you don't know.
Be careful.
You don't know their motive and your
and
and their
let me just answer
intention.
this, especially for like I'm not like I just chatting it like, but I wouldn't say like people look to me for certain type of content or I'm like a guy that inspires man and just fuck with me like that. But for you guys specifically, don't you guys sometimes feel even when like a girl is chatting to you, it might be coming with like something, that's like a motive,
You see that girl I just mentioned, the Malaysian thing, yeah? That's the exact thought I had in my head because just Instagram, oh yeah, I've been watching you, blah blah blah. I'm thinking I'm not even that big. Like why? Why? Like you know what I'm saying? I'm not a pretty boy. Like why? Like and she's like, no, I love your stuff. We should meet up. To do what, bro? Like what are you planning to do? Like so no, 100%, bro. Like you just think differently and like hardly anyone comes to my house.
My thing is if it's too easy, if it's too readily available, I'm like, what's the agenda here? So I'm like, you know what? I'm good. I'd rather go hunt myself, either in person or like approach her myself and then go for it because it could be enemy sending to go to you. You never know, bro. It's like, yo, you gotta be careful.
Yeah, bad intention.
And you're black, she's white, bro. It's a wrap.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
That's why.
Hey, I was talking about fresh. I was going for the snow bunnies.
Like you guys talk about how you. Like,
I feel like they overrated. No cap.
I personally think that the States is a different thing. Do you guys, with you guys presence and all that stuff, are you kind of weary and conscious about women or even anybody? Because you guys have gone viral many different times, shade room and all that stuff. Are you not conscious of that?
So especially Myron, and he keeps like a lot of receipts because you never know what angle it is. And also as well, like for us, is like we're pretty big in many countries, so it's like girls will come at you a certain way because they, clout whatever, podcasts, they want to come on sometimes. And what's the angle? So my thing is like cover your tracks, like for us, and I approach first. If a girl approaches me, I'm wondering what's the angle.
You see, I feel like as a woman though, if a guy's got like clout and status and he approaches me, I kind of feel like I'm not going to give you another number, so I probably would not entertain it.
Yeah,
okay.
But it's tricky from the other way around because I know exactly what you're saying. Because like even as a relatively small content creator, you get like a DM and it's a bit like, well, first of all, my content's mainly aimed at guys anyway. So there's that. So it's like, why are you watching? Not that obviously women can watch it, but it's like, why are you watching it anyway, really? And secondly, what is the agenda behind? Is there an agenda behind? Maybe there isn't, but it's just a bit. You gotta be careful. More wary,
you just like Castillo said, hyper aware, like. You know what I'm saying, like.
Especially in this day and age. My thing is right. If I reach out to a girl, it's because I want to get to know her better and actually like date her. So it's like different than just like quick smash and then dip. I want to get to know her better. But
big fact.
These girls that hit you up, it's like, yo, I want to see what's good with him, see get part of the lifestyle. It's like, nah, I'm gonna wait a little bit, see what you're about, and then gauge from there what I'm gonna do. Mario, you want to chime in on us?
Big Montingue. When you come into Miami, Costello.
I'm armed all the time, guys. As you guys know, I used to work in law enforcement, so for me, I always have my gun on me. So if someone tries me, I got my Glock 26 or my 19, whatever it is. So that's one thing. And then the other thing too with the girls is, I mean, it is what it is. I shoot my shot. Girls do the stupid shit. Some girls have like tried to expose me, like, oh look, you DM me, whatever. But if anything, it makes them look stupid. Like this girl that like exposed this, was it Maroon 5, if I'm not mistaken, the artist Adam Levine. Like that bitch looks stupid doing that. You don't gotta put the camera on this one. No, because it's gonna mess up what you guys got going on and stuff like that. Yeah, you guys and I know you guys are like, yo, Byron, where you at, bro? Hey man, somebody's gonna run the sound to make sure this shit sounds good, right? Okay. So and highlight the chat because we know Fresh can't do it because he's a very stupid sound effect.
Very stupid.
So I think like for the girls, it is what it is. Girls are gonna do stupid shit because they're gonna cloud chase. It kind of comes with the territory. And as far as like danger goes, I would say definitely having a gun. But you gotta move different too. Like me and Fresh, like we don't really post when we're out at certain places. places unless like after we leave. I rarely go outside anyway. I be inside. I be a hermit a lot of times because I'm like real big on the gym and not partying like that anyway. So I don't know, we just gotta
I'm
do a little
sorry,
bit
bro. I'm a
different
hermit
stuff. That
too.
P&B Rock
I always
case,
been a
that's
hermit.
different because you never know. A girl posted.
Ever since I stepped out of my building, I've been a hermit. I go to the gym, go to work, go home. Go to the gym, go to work, go home.
Basically,
If I do go, I gotta like plan it, and they gotta be with people I can trust. Cause now everybody you go out with, you can trust, bruh. Not even like, oh, what they might do to you is my what. You just can't trust them in certain situations. So I done been a babysitter for a lot of people in a group. I'm like, might as well have stayed home. I don't know what the fuck would have happened to you today. Like giving people off the tops of people's cars and shit like that. This is some wild shit. So I
This is
stay
what
my
happened
ass home.
in the news, right? P&B Rock was at a restaurant in California. Russell Chicken and Waffles. This girl posted location. Now they say that's not the reason why it happened per se. It helps in that they're finding him, but like could be many things. But her just posting that location, he ended up dying.
Yeah.
And as a result, it's like you're a celebrity, you're someone with status. You never know what people are hating on you, what their intentions are, and like people just like get jealous. And you might have a good lifestyle, you might have a good like setup. So you know what? Let's go rob him.
Yeah,
You gotta be
yeah.
extra nowadays.
It
there,
is
like, any
robbing
questions
you.
that you ask women to kind of
With a
differentiate
gun.
what kind of woman she is, or would you just like take it at face value?
Always. So for me, my look at it as like an interview. So for example, it's not just to like meet you and they want to smash it. Like, okay, cool. What are you about? What are your goals? Like, what's your mindset like? And then from there, if that actually like is fulfilling to us, we'll take you on and see further. But nowadays, guys, if you're somebody of status, you gotta be extra careful because you never know.
Yeah,
what's
extra
you never-
careful. The
you
dating
prefer-
scene is
It's
way
great
harder.
if they don't know about
You
it.
can get a lot of them, but
You know,
that's
best
when you
scenario,
got to discern
what
your
I do,
options.
You just I meet in person or like in passing, someone says,
Can
hey,
be
you know, I'm gonna
like
and then,
Future
we
having
just talk,
20
and she finds out,
baby
ah,
mamas.
It's kind of like, you know what I do? It's kind of like, oh, you're part of that
Excuse me.
podcast. Actually, it hurts us because if a girl watches our podcast or she knows what it's like, oh, you're a misogynist, it's like, you don't even know me. You're just saying that off rips, off of clips. You don't know us personally. It's like, we love women, of course, but it's like, that perception can hurt us in the long run. So we have to work extra hard to kind of break that barrier, then talk to her, then have a game, then pull up.
Nah,
Keep
I
her
agree
lifestyle.
I agree with you because my last girlfriend, like, I didn't tell her about YouTube or nothing. I didn't tell her nothing. Didn't give her the Instagram, nothing. It's just me and you talking, literally, like, and then it come after because it was a bait in it, like so.
Yeah.
Okay, so real quick, tell us what projects you're working on right now, what's going on with you guys, and then give us an update, and then because we can close off from after this.
Oh, yeah, before you go into that, yeah, it's just leading to what Myron said about the gun thing, yeah, like carrying it. You guys have been to the UK, and like you said a few times that you find it a bit more dangerous than the States, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not. No, I'm not gonna lie. I'm so surprised about that because, like, to me,
They have a knife crime rate, bro. It's
you
crazy.
mentioned P&B Rock, for example. Like now, I just feel like LA. Like I'm like, yo, do I have to check in? Like, do I have to? I got to go to check in? Because
Like, do I have to wear a
it's different thing.
vest
Like, when I was in
in
when I was in,
UK, like a
Chicago,
stab-proof
for example, like, the main
vest?
difference I
I'm
feel
gonna
like
sell that
with
to the
America
UK.
to the UK is that you guys are low.
stabby Jackie.
Like if you're broke and you're struggling,
Yeah.
you are fucked up out here. Yeah, do you know what I'm trying to say? Like I just feel like when I went to New York, for example, I saw a 6'5", 250-pound crackhead, bruv. How does that work? How does that work, bruv? You know what I'm saying? Like I felt on edge everywhere I went, and I felt like, yo, like even when I went to like a mall. Shout out to downtown Chicago as well, bruv. I literally went to a mall. Yeah, it was like the Hood Mall. I forgot where it was. Yeah, but I literally
That nigga smokes cigarettes. The way he do
follow right,
this,
yelling like, yo,
he smokes
like,
cigs.
bro, like, man, like, do you know what I mean? Like, over here, like, it's a bit different. But I was thinking to myself, like, man, them there, they're like way more forward. Like, even when I was, for example, in New York, a man just came up to me like, yo, y'all smoke? Y'all smoke? I was like, bro, these men are like mad forward. Like, even when I met a brother, like, I was in like up north, whatever. There's a brother, he's like a student from New York, yeah? And he's like, yo, what you do? What you do? What you do, son? And I was like, man, why is this brother yelling at me in my face, man? Yeah? So what you do with yourself, dog? What you do? And I was thinking, and the guy was next to him, like, no, he does YouTube, like, you should see. You should see. He's like, you do YouTube? He goes, well, let me follow you. I'm like, yo, what's better? It's better. So I feel like
So just
you guys
energetic.
I don't know, like, you actually, for real, you actually find it more tense in Miami. Like, bruv, you lot had like the bath salt killers, like people eating people on bath salts up in Florida. You lot feel more in danger here.
I would say there's extremes to it, right? So in America, people are either extremely stupid or extremely, on some level, civilized. So it's like, you have very, very extremes here. Here in the UK, it feels like the struggle's real and people want to have a better lifestyle, but the means of getting it means, for example, you know what? Some people in the hood, you know, he has, I'm just take it from him. Now, it's the same way in LA and like some parts of Chicago, but it's more like you can kind of like stay away from certain areas. Here, I feel like on some level, you walk around a certain area, they catch you lacking, nigga, you're done. I know.
Nigga, you're done.
No, but it's not what you said yesterday as well.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like, there's not really no one to help you. If someone comes and they come to assault you with a weapon,
So the police have
you're
no
gonna
guns.
get got before someone helps you.
Yeah, the police ain't gonna help until you already
You're out
don't.
about walking
You're
through the
done.
door, right? Two niggas run up on you with knives. You call the police. Let's say you do get the.
Are you gonna?
Hold on. Your girl's on the phone, right?
Excuse me.
Your girl runs, right? He calls the police. Let's say she gets the phone line, tells them, hey, we're here at this point, this street, whatever. Please pull up. Before they even come, those niggas are chasing after you, stabbing you, you're probably dead. They show up, oh, well, sorry about that. And next day, for example, you start running and you get away. They go chase you down. And we see videos online where this guy was like trying to fight this guy with a knife. I was like, bro, one hit in the neck, he was done. So it's crazy because guess what happens? When they stab you, there's no noise. It's like you're done. They can run away, get in the car, drive.
For real, like you won't feel it as well.
Yeah.
Adrenaline, you won't feel it, bro. Like so.
Yeah. But again, I mean that, like, it is somewhat by location here as well, isn't it? I mean, like where you know, central London, and maybe.
Right, you'll feel if you get stabbed,
I mean,
no
stuff
cap.
happens, sure, but it's less likely to happen there, I would say, right? I mean, it's
Like, do you know what the thing is? Like, even for example, by the way, just a little disclaimer, man, if somebody pulls out a knife on you, the only martial arts you need to learn is the art of Usain Bolt. Run, get the fuck out of
Run,
there.
bro.
Don't try that. Yeah. But this is the main difference, though. I'm not gonna lie. Like, in London, if you're involved in badness, it's gonna come to you. It's very, very rare if you're not involved in something, it's gonna come to you. But this is the difference. This is what I'm saying. I'm still not convinced that America's safe like that compared to it, because look, like when I went to Chicago, I got in the red line. Big man thing, shout to the red line, bruv. Yeah. Before I got in, I was with my brother Charles. Shout out to Charles. Yeah. He's Jamaican, like a real Jamaican, like not no Jamaican thing. Yeah, a real one. Yeah.
Bad man thing.
Bruv, before we got in the train, he was like, yo, take off your chain, take off your rings, take off. And I was like, why? And he's like, bruv, like, take that shit off. We got on the red line, and I'm like, okay, it's alright. I seen a few white people. Then I started seeing the white people disappear, and I was like, yo.
You never seen the white people disappear.
I started getting deeper, and I'm like, yo, there's no longer names for the stations, but it's just numbers.
Yep.
And then I see people with no trims and no haircuts, bruv, and that's already, you know, like
No trim, no haircuts.
It's a third world.
Bruv, I'm not gonna lie to you, yeah. Bruv, crackheads is running in through that train, yeah. Bruv, another thing as well. I'm not sure if I said this already. I'm not sure if you've not seen the movie Dead Presidents, yeah. In the movie Dead Presidents, when they're going to rob the bank, they put on this white face paint, they black their eyes out, yeah. Bruv, on the red line in Chicago, there was a crackhead with that same face paint, bruv, and she was just looking at me right in my eyeballs, bruv. I'm not gonna lie to you, bruv. I've never felt unsafe in my life apart from on that train. In London, I go anywhere, bruv. I don't give a fuck, yeah. In Chicago, bruv, I'm telling you, like, and even at one point, I'm not gonna lie, pulled out the phone to take a selfie, and I was like, no, fuck that, bruv. not today, bruv.
I think the comfort of knowing your country and your people kind of cements like,
Yeah.
you know what, I'm somewhat safe. Versus like us over here, bro, like you don't know nobody.
You don't know nobody.
So it's crazy.
Yeah.
Always travel when you know people in that area too.
I was just gonna say,
How much
like,
time we got left?
because
All
I
right.
lived like over in the States, so
Yeah.
like I remember like one of my teammates, he showed me a pistol. He's just like, hey, yeah, because he called me England. He's like, hey, England, look.
England,
So
look.
I kind of got climatized to it in a way because I was there for like 5
Man
years.
pulled out a
innit?
pistol for banks.
Yeah, that literally just sitting in the truck. Like,
no,
like, bro,
see.
my teammates, they just had weapons, bro. Like, that's
yeah,
So
but
you-
the gun thing's pretty
Now
crazy
you,
for us.
so let me ask you guys. So do you guys feel? Well, you two, do you guys will? Question fit this more. Do you
Yeah.
guys feel safer with the gun, like with people
Go
around
from
with
there. That's it. Think I'm done. What? It's on the frontier tomorrow. Let me see. Ain't no way. Okay, so most desirable skill for a man. I've been seeing people put up stuff too for him. See what else I got.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking finger and say that's the bad guy.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today I have a very important video. The topic
I want to
is
see this
the
real quick
mission.
because I seen
We're
that
all
new
excited to
Tekken
see
8
what he
trailer.
does and what he will do in Tekken 8. So what I want to do is take a look at the
That
past.
boy
There is
Sinister.
some
That's
clues, some hints that
he's
can
on my
give us
Super
an
Smash
idea of what
main. I'm not
developers
gonna
want
lie.
this character to be. I have screenshots of the wiki, and I also have some lost tweets from Harada. Kazuya Mishima is a fictional character in Bandai Namco's Tekken fighting game series. First featured as a protagonist
Conglomerate.
in the original 1994 game, and later became one of the major antagonists and anti-heroes of the series. The son of the worldwide conglomerate Mishima Zaibatsu CEO Heihachi Mishima, Kazuya seeks revenge against his father for throwing him down a cliff years earlier. Kazuya becomes corrupted in later games, seeking to obtain more power, and later
That boy
eventually
Kazuya.
comes to conflict with his son, Jin
Kept calling him
Kazuya
Kazuya.
Mishima possesses
My
the
name is
Devil Gene, a demonic
Kazuya.
mutation he inherited from his mother, Kazumi Mishima, which can transform him into a demonic version of himself, known as Devil Kazuya. Devil Kazuya has often appeared as separate characters in previous installments, prior to becoming part of Kazuya's moveset in Tekken Tag Tournament 2 and later games. Now I have a tweet here that explains why Devil Kazuya and Kazuya was separate in past games, but now he's fused. And the reason why I want to read this is because Jin and Devil Jin. I think the same thing that happened with Kazuya and Devil Kazuya is the same thing that's going to happen to Jin and Devil Jin. Someone asks, why isn't Devil Kazuya his own character like Devil Jin is? Harada says, because he's completely fused with Devil now. The way that I explain the merging of these characters is not two separate characters being merged, but it's one character becoming whole. And I feel like it's the same for Devil Jin and Jin. When he transforms into Devil Jin, he doesn't really have control. He may be able to control or change what he does. We see there's times where Devil Jin goes after Zhao Yu, but Jin will stop it. He will prevent that. So you can see he's fighting for that control, but he's
Yeah.
not necessarily in control.
Yeah,
In
I can
Tekken
see
8, I
that
don't know
too.
if they're gonna
He
develop
goes
a
out
story
of
in this
control. He
where
just
he
start
has
doing raw
control,
shit.
but if he does, we could see the merging, the full formation of Jin and Devil Jin. The same way Devil Kazuya and Kazuya become one, Jin and Devil Jin may also as well. I have a tweet here from Harada. It's translated. At the bottom says, the motion actor for Jin's karate technique and some of Kazuya technique is actually Ryu Nasuru.
Ooh. That was a quick 1-2 kick. It said start pop.
Continuing with the wiki, it says Tekken producer Harada created Kazuya Mishima as a corrupted character with a pure dark side, as opposed to the father Heihachi Mishima, who Harada identified as having a more human dark side. The tweet that this is referring to gives more detail. Heihachi equals human dark side, Kazuya equals pure dark side, Jin equals dividing line, Jinpachi equals bald, Lars equals wig. Now, The more you read this tweet, the more it starts to troll. But the part where Dapachi being bald and Lars having a wig, I do want to talk about this in another video, so stay tuned for that. When describing Kazuya's personality, Harada cited him, along with Heihachi and Jin Kazama, as violent characters of Tekken. He described the family as too quarrelsome, denying the claim that Tekken's plot is too convoluted. Harada said that its basic story is a simple struggle amongst members of the Mishima family with other characters dragged into the conflict.
That's what it seems like when I played Tekken 6 back in the day. I'm like, who are these characters? But it seems like the whole storyline running around the Heihachi.
It would be kind of interesting to see his or her story on Tekken. And
Mishima family.
Kazuya is almost Yakuza. The part in there as well where you talk about Kazuya being a robot. I didn't know this in Tekken 6, but in Tekken 6, Shinden is an extra costume available to Kazuya Mishima if the player buys the limited edition version of Tekken 6. Now, this is basically Mecha Kazuya. Now, of course, Kazuya didn't die. This is more so just a skin or extra costume, as they say. But the fact that you already have one of these characters being mechanized in a sense, I think that gives more weight to the fact that maybe Heihachi will be mechanized in Tekken 8. Now, I hope they actually give him the name of Mecha Heihachi instead of Robo Heihachi, or maybe they can call it Shinden Heihachi. Some variation like that will be really cool. But I didn't know this existed. Maybe some of you did, but the fact that it does just shows that they are willing to make these characters mechanical.
It's crazy. I take it 6. I didn't really like the game.
Despite his initial
until I started playing online. That's when I started liking it.
Tekken games, similar to Ryu from Street Fighter, Kazuya started showing signs of being more anti-stereotypical in the story. This was due to him becoming more of a villain from Tekken 2, clashing with his father on multiple times, who was originally the boss of the first Tekken game. Harada describes Kazuya as a focused power, writing that the character addresses different types of power. He explained, that's kind of the story of Tekken, and it's shown as a certain reality for people themselves, rather than idea, law, and order.
Everything you have, I will now take from you. Everything you thought you were, I have proven you are not.
Namco created the storyline as a conclusion. Harada also wants the game to flesh out characters' relationships and reveal why
going to Chicago, knowing that he shouldn't be over there. But at the end of the day,
they
do.
I watched this guy's vid.
And then specifically, just look at it a few months on. We need to talk about this. So
all right, let me go back. Oh.
I take a look into
yeah, this guy, the truth is, I want to subscribe to him. He's pretty good. Take his stuff for not truth, but his version of his truth. So, it's whatever research he said he does. I watch it here and there to see what he's talking about. Some things have important piece of information that actually is true that I don't know, and then it just mixed with what he thinks. So,
I checked it out, and we definitely need to talk about this. So let's get right into it. The first thing we're going to be talking about today is this new NBA Youngboy music video for his song Like a Jungle. The moment I saw this video, I knew exactly what was going on because we've been talking about Youngboy for the last few months on this channel. We've made a few videos on Youngboy already. Youngboy's
it was premiering, but just
I showed you the music
Young
video
Boy
before where he was wearing the Freemason jewelry, and then you saw how
which is odd.
Case, which I said before, for NBA Youngboy to beat this case, he had to be connected to some powerful people. He had to have taken the oath. Just look at it like this: when NBA Youngboy was caught back, I think it was in 2020 or 2021. I might be mistaken on the date, but the last time that he was caught and he was arrested, when he decided to run off on the police, he had a weapon with him in the car when he was caught. He got caught with a weapon that he wasn't supposed to have in the vehicle, and then he ran off on the cops. And if I'm not mistaken, he was already out on bail for a prior incident that had taken place. So it did not look like NBA Youngboy was going to get released. And when they first took him in, the judge was denying him bail, was saying that he wasn't going to be able to get out. And then a few months later, he gets bail, he gets sent to house arrest. And when he's in house arrest, everything is different now.
He's way different now.
We see now in this new music video, NBA Youngboy coming out of a casket, which is symbolizing the Freemasonic initiation.
Hopefully he doesn't die soon.
Specifically with the artist Anuel. See, in that little pump video with Anuel, Anuel is raising out of the casket, and then we see all the Freemasonic imagery within that video.
And how old is NBA Youngboy?
Youngboy is like 22 now.
There's a possibility that he is, because due to the fact that he's never been convicted of a felony that I know of, he still has no felonies on his record. He's still allowed to join the Freemasons, because I know that you have to have, you can't have any felonies.
I still don't think that's 100% true, because look in the Young Thug situation. I have 100% proof that Young Thug is a Freemason. 100% proof. There's pictures of him in a lodge. There's pictures of him holding his Freemasonic certificate and paperwork. There's proof he's done said it out of his own mouth. He's 100% a Mason, and he's been a convicted felon. If I'm not mistaken, he is definitely a convicted felon. It's obvious that NBA Youngboy, in my opinion, he has to be either somebody that was managing him, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody that was on his team that was in control of his career, or NBA Youngboy himself. Because why would he be wearing those Mason chains, you know?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Could be somebody in charge of his career.
You got to be 21 years of age. He's 22. So there's a very big possibility that he did join them. You know, like we can't put that behind him.
I've also seen like the Demole organization for kids, and I was looking into that. That's an organization, a Freemason organization.
Oh
for
yeah,
kids
it's
under
the
age of
younger
21.
one.
In my opinion, it's preparation for the full Masonic organization. That once you become older, you have a head start in what's going to be going on within
In the world,
organization.
yeah.
In my opinion, and this is from what I study and what I've seen, and I'm pretty sure you
Bush
seen it
was in
well,
Skull
the
and
people
Bones.
who run the organization have and will always have the ability to do whatever they want. So if they want a person like Young Thug to be in there, or a person like NBA Youngboy, because when Youngboy had these Freemason chains on, he wasn't an adult yet. He wasn't 21. I know that if you look it up online and you say, what's the qualifications of becoming a Mason, it'll say you have to be 21. I believe that there's certain people with more power and more money that can get themselves in positions. There's certain people that don't have to play by the rules. NBA Youngboy is one of those either that was in the organization since a child or was being managed by people that was in the organization. And now we're just seeing his initiation. Because if you look at it, NBA Youngboy wanted to get away from the industry. He didn't want to sign no more records.
Like
He
who
was kinda
co-sign?
revolting
Like
in a
who?
way. And then that's when
Who are
everything-
the people who make these music video ideas? And it's like, you can rap about this, but we need you to be in a casket. We need you to be in this and that and this and that. Like you have no. I'm not saying that I have no control, but like there's somebody who's putting your certain aspect when it comes to your cinematography, something like that. I call for your music video, which is crazy. When you really think about it. It's just like if you watch most music videos, it's always like some cult stuff, like no cap. Like usually, it's never like how it used to be. Now it's like some imagery all the time
bad started happening.
in the background if you watch it, and then the song be mad hot
If we
too.
think about it, why would NBA Youngboy trying to run away from the police?
I'll be
NBA
back. I
Youngboy
gotta
is
go
one
use
of
the
most famous
bathroom.
people in the world right now. Him running away from the police, he's gonna be spotted anywhere. You understand? He's NBA Youngboy. He can't go anywhere without crowds of people surrounding
Big
him.
facts.
understand what I'm
You
saying?
can run, but
So
you
it's
can't
almost like I
hide. You
saw that
NBA
as a
young
move
boy.
of
What the
desperation.
fuck?
I saw
Everybody
that
know
as
who you
almost
is.
NBA Youngboy trying to escape from whatever fate he was about to meet. And if we think about it, when he went into prison and when he came out, he didn't come out the same person.
No, he came out all weird and stuff, wearing makeup and looking gothic.
Exactly my point. And me and you know how this works. We know the truth. At the end of the day, something's going on behind the scenes. Let's look at it at a logical standpoint. He ran away from the police. He still gets caught. They weren't supposed to let him go. They said that they weren't going to let him go, that he was a menace to society because he has been seen with these weapons and all this stuff. So they weren't going to let him go. Then, miraculously, they give him bail. They let him go. They put him on house arrest. After they let him go, we see him making music videos, wearing makeup, looking very very suspicious, looking very different than what he normally looks like. And then we fast forward a little bit more. He ends up beating his case. After beating his case, now he's making a video that clearly appears to show him joining the Masonic Order. That casket reference is the same as the tomb. When a Freemason is initiated, it's the same process as being born again. Because that's basically what happens to you when you become a Mason. You're born again as a brother. You're born again as someone who's allowed to see the light. And that's what Youngboy is showing us. I see that he was trying to deflect and maybe get away from them because he started very young. And then now to the point where he is, he decided that he doesn't have a choice or they forced him. They did something to him to where now he thinks he has no choice but to cooperate. And that's what I feel like is going on here. This video here shows him in the casket, shows him rising out of the casket. We've seen this exact same imagery from many artists before that are proven Masonic puppets already, that we've already shown on this channel to be Masonic puppets. So this video here, to me, is just an eye-opening 100% reveal. If you look at this, it's the perfect example of Masonic imagery. What imagery do you see when you see this coming out of the casket? What comes to your mind?
The Rebirth, Triple X did the same thing, and he ended up passing. So, and Youngboy's about to pretty much bury himself by going to Chicago.
Yeah, I see your reference. I see maybe it is some foreshadowing. Imagery like this is usually Masonic.
Yeah, no, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that, Triple X did that, and he ended up getting hit up.
I feel like there's definitely a possibility that he could be foreshadowing. That is definitely a good point.
That's what I was
This
saying.
whole
I
Chicago
think he's
thing has been getting
foreshadowing
tons of
his
attention.
death.
People are, like,
NBA
praising him,
homeboy probably
saying
gonna
nothing
get
can stop
messed
him
up
and all this
before
stuff,
he
and he's
turns
gonna go to
23.
Chicago and nothing's gonna
I'm
happen.
not trying
I
to
pray
wish
nothing
it,
happens to him 'cause I don't want
but that's
nothing
what I'm
to happen to
thinking.
anybody.
He's looking for it, He sees the threats. His manager was like, "We in there. What are you doing? You looking for something to happen to you? I don't know if you think it's gonna boost your career or something, but he's looking for it. I hope that happens to him. But then again, he's putting himself in that situation. So
I also think that they wouldn't want something to happen to Youngboy, but who knows, Youngboy's a profitable artist. He's a very profitable artist. He makes a lot of money, and he doesn't spend a lot of money to make his music. His music videos are shot at his house. Looks like he has a one-camera team. So it doesn't look like Youngboy spends a lot of money, and he does make the label a lot of money. But at the end of the day, I don't think that they would mind if something happened because they still own his catalog, and they probably have thousands of songs that he's already recorded.
exactly. Now something happens to NBA Youngboy, they'll make at least 100 mil off of this kid because he's like the biggest artist right now on YouTube.
Yeah, but I feel like they'll make more with him being alive. What I feel like happened now he was trying to escape. He was no longer trying to play by their rules. He didn't like how the game was turning out. He also didn't like that they were probably taking most of his money because that's how the record label works. That's how the record business works. The artists are basically slaves to the industry. You know, they make the record labels millions while they make the crumbs that the record labels let them have.
Yep,
NBA
big
Youngboy
facts.
probably saw this and like, man, I sold my soul for this. I did all this, and I'm not even getting what I fully deserve. Something interesting is that I was watching an interview of PNB Rock, and PNB Rock was talking about basically exactly what I said in my record label video. That's one of my biggest videos to this day because the information in that video is so valuable towards artists. Artists need to know this. Artists need to know that the record label isn't going to make you rich. The record label is going to make them rich. They're going to give you a big loan and put you in debt. And yeah, you might have access to that money, but most artists, they end up ending their career in debt. They end up owing the record labels and not being able to ever recoup or become a profitable artist because the record label has built these contracts like this. PNB Rock was talking about how he only got 15%, and that's a high amount compared to most artists who only get from 4 to 8% of their royalty when they first signed that first record deal. So PNB Rock, he was explaining how he only got 15%, and he thought that he wasn't making any money no more because he wasn't getting no more checks. But when he realized it, he was still getting millions and millions and millions of streams. The record label, they were the ones that were collecting all that money that came in from them streams. PNB Rock didn't see none of that money because his percentage wasn't enough. Everything that PNB Rock did to make a song, every time that PNB Rock got on a plane, every time that PNB Rock stood at a hotel, they take that out of his 15%. And at the end of the day, they told PNB Rock that he owes the record label $200,000, even though his music has been making millions of dollars. That's how the music industry works. NBA Youngboy probably saw this and realized, man, traded my soul. I've given everything I've gotten. I played by the rules. I pushed the agenda. And I don't even get what I deserve, what I've worked for.
Yep.
The record label takes it all.
You just here to push an agenda. Yeah, he really is.
There's no way in hell that I'm gonna allow him to go to Chicago. And also for them to let him do that, it just makes me think, you know?
Yeah, but you know the record label loves that. That's gonna spicing things up.
It's gonna spice it up. If he dies, he's gonna make.
Go in there, nothing's gonna happen to Youngboy. You know, that's the type of energy.
Bruh, if Youngboy dies and the way shit is going, his music is gonna sell so much more than what it is selling now. Like, dead rappers make way more money now than they do alive. Like, Kendrick Lamar were to die tomorrow, God forbid, his catalog is blowing up even way more than what it is now. Let's just be honest. It doesn't matter who you are. Once you die, MJ stuff, the money just keeps flowing in, but you don't know where it's going. That's just what you need to know.
That Youngboy fans have for him. They think that he's invincible, but we've seen time and time again. I saw also earlier, Academics posted something about 6ix9ine, claiming that 6ix9ine he goes around with no security and he isn't scared and that nothing's gonna happen to 6ix9ine. It's just not smart at all, you know? Anybody with money who's driving around in an expensive car with tons of jewelry on their neck is a possible target, you understand? Whether famous or not. But if you're famous, it makes you an even bigger target if you don't have security. It doesn't matter if you move into the suburbs. There's people all over the world, all over the United States, that they're willing to do something if they spot you at a light. Youngboy risking himself, just like 6ix9ine risking themselves, I think it's idiotic and it's a stupid way to try to prove that they're men. There's nothing to prove there. But like I said, it also could be the record label or his management, his team. Like, you want to really blow, you want to really get hot and get all the attention. Let's say you're going to Chicago, and that's gonna, you know, people love that. People love that type of drama. And like we said, this whole entire casket scene could be foreshadowing. Hopefully it's not. I pray that it's not, but I know that it's at least an initiation because that's exactly what it looks like. It looks like an initiation, also foreshadowing for what Youngboy is possibly getting ready for, going to Chicago, knowing that he shouldn't be over there. But at the end of the day, they do this for a purpose. They do this for an agenda. Youngboy is pushing his agenda strong with this. That gangsterism, that I'm tough, I'm not scared of nothing.
Oh yeah, he thinks he's that's what they call him, as a new Tupac of this day and age. Let's say he keep trying to be like Tupac, he gonna go out like Tupac.
And you guys give me your opinion. Does it not look a bit suspicious, this entire situation? When Youngboy got caught, he tried to run away. They arrest him. They say they weren't gonna let him go. They let him go. They give him bail. He starts acting suspicious. He starts acting very different. He ends up then beating his case. After he beats his case, we see him doing a clear Masonic rebirth initiation ritual. Clear as day. This is what the
big
industry does.
facts.
It can't be more
Big
open than
facts,
this. If
bro.
you don't play
Big
by the
facts.
rules, they make you crazy. They come after you. They destroy your career. They take everything from you. If you play by the rules and do what they say, they give you $1 million contracts. Because if I'm not mistaken, Youngboy's about to sign or is rumored to be getting a $24 million contract, something in that level. You think that happens out of nowhere? A few months ago, Youngboy had problems with the record labels and was saying he wasn't going to sign no more.
Yeah, listen, you know what that is, man. He's going along with the agenda. He's down with them. He ain't gonna come out of jail looking hella demonic, wearing this crazy makeup on some gothic type of stuff. You know, like, he's down with them. There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
Now let's move on. The next thing I want to talk about is the Tomorrowland Festival. A few of you have been sending me this on Instagram. What I've seen on the imagery alone is very interesting. The festival happens every year, and I wanted to make a full deep dive video into it, but Tomorrowland likes to copyright claim and send copyright strikes to people that make videos on them. That's why I'm not gonna choose to make a full in-depth video on them as much as I want to. I can't risk it. I might do one for Patreon, but what I've already seen is worth talking, and what I can show is worth talking. The Tomorrowland Festival is a giant ritual. That's literally what it is. They have been showing us the same imagery that we've been seeing in hip hop with the portals. You've been seeing this portal imagery lately. Like, you remember Travis Scott's Astroworld performance? How he had that big portal behind him on the stage? And then you remember, I'm pretty sure you probably didn't see this Kanye West video. Kanye West has a video, I don't remember the name exactly, but he's also in the sky and there's a giant portal behind him. You know Fortnite, right? They had the giant portal in Fortnite. They had the CERN with the particle accelerator. They were saying they were gonna open a portal to another dimension. That's all foreshadowing, just like we were talking about with YoungBoy. They were telling us this day is coming. We might not know what really happened with the particle accelerator. We might not know what they truly did with CERN. But in due time, whatever effects it's gonna have upon us, we're gonna see that for sure.
Yeah, we're gonna suffer the consequences.
The imagery that is coming from the Tomorrowland Festival is beyond everything that we've been talking about, everything that we've been talking about on the channel. You can see it coming directly from the Tomorrowland Festival. The whole festival is about love and entering the light and being free and all this nonsense that they like to hide their Masonic and occultic imagery with. The whole entire festival is full of Masonic all-seeing eyes, full of Egyptian imagery, full of demonic figures, Baphomet-looking statues. This is what they're putting into these festivals, while they have thousands and thousands and thousands of people cheering the festival on. The most interesting thing I saw was in the last festival they did, the 2022 one. I was seeing that they have this particle accelerator looking thing and it's shooting a beam of light to the sky and creating a portal into this new dimension. This is the same exact imagery we've been seeing in recent days. It's been all over the music industry.
Can I ask you something? What's your take on all of that?
I feel like they're letting us know that the seals are breaking. I said this already in one of my Patreon videos that I did on CERN. I feel like they're trying to let us know that they're breaking the seals. And they're trying to, I don't know if they're artificially starting the apocalypse or what is their goal from this, but the imagery that they're putting out with the Antichrist and the 4 horsemen and the seals being broken, it all shows end of time prophecy imagery. I feel like that they're showing us this because we're entering the new world. And that's what the portal represents, the new order of the ages, the order of the Aeon. I believe that we're in the new world order. In the world that we're living now, we're living in the new world order. It just hasn't fully been revealed.
Nah, yeah, I agree. We definitely living in the new world order. There ain't no question about that.
Exactly, and that's exactly what I feel
No
like
question. The USDC just rolled out. The US digital currency is the new dollar. They made their own cryptocurrency and it's backed by the Fed. So be careful where you put your money in the bank, because all of a sudden banks gonna be closing down like in China. You can't pull your money out. Your money becomes everybody's money.
And they're loving it. There is no questioning it. There is no asking what the heck is this. None of that. They're just enjoying all this demonic, satanic imagery. They don't think there's nothing to it, but we know that there is. We know that Lucifer wants to convince the world that he isn't evil. Lucifer wants people to think that he is the light, he's the liberator, he's the one that freed us from God's chains and gave us freedom and allowed us to live like God. And that's what this festival is preaching. This festival, just like Aleister Crowley preached about love, but he also told you to do whatever you want and basically disobey God, disobey moral rules, and be morally free. That's what Aleister Crowley represented, and that's what this Tomorrowland Festival is preaching to these thousands and thousands of people. And you see these thousands of people just loving it and enjoying it. They're not questioning any of this imagery they're being shown. They're not questioning this ritual that's being done right in front of them.
Yeah. I kind of found it a little crazy, man. Let's just be real. There's going to be some people that's going to notice it and not care, and then there's going to be some that's just blind, that they don't see anything.
At the end of the day, we deal with so many of those people on this channel in the comment section. They come and they watch the videos, but the moment we talk about someone that they love, they can't, oh, no, that's impossible. They didn't sell their soul. If you are worshiping an idol, I guarantee you that the idol is a Masonic puppet. I guarantee you that the idol is working for this agenda and is pushing it. And they just choose to be blind because they want to still enjoy this person's music. If you want to still listen to the music, that's up to you. But at least you know now that the music has an agenda. At least you know now that there's a reason why they're talking about all this destruction in the music. There's a reason why there's so much negativity being pushed through the music. And you could allow it to affect you, or you can choose to not allow it to affect you, a person that doesn't allow the music industry, the puppet masters, to control you using their music. In my opinion, one of the biggest problems with most people is that they don't want to accept it. They want to go to these festivals, they want to enjoy their time, and in their minds, they cannot believe any of this stuff, because if they do, then their whole world is destroyed. They can't worship the rappers and the singers and the artists that they love, the celebrities that they love so much, because then you realize that worshiping these people is going to destroy you.
Yeah, you should never worship people. Then celebrities are modern day idols, false idols. People be like worshiping them like they're gods.
That they have in the Baphomet picture. They have a moon crescent within the Baphomet picture next to the pentagram. That's the same symbols that they're showing us at this festival. People need to understand what's going on. They want you to go to these festivals while they do these rituals. They want you to give them their energy. They want you to stand up and cheer and scream. They're asking you to, because you're
It's basically worshiping.
You should only use your energy to praise God. But they're using your energy to praise the devil, and you don't even realize it. When you attend these festivals and you're seeing all these symbols being flashed in front of the screen, it reminds me of the Lil Uzi Vert concert. Lil Uzi Vert had a concert where he told all his fans that they're all going to a burning end while he was on stage telling them.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. That was crazy, right?
Yeah, and you saw how no one reacted. Only a few people were like, oh, but no one left. You didn't see no one getting up and turning around and walking out of there.
I think he had like a devil tattoo.
Yeah, I remember that. I'm like, if I was at a concert, something like, I'm going to hell, you all coming with me, I'll be like, what? Who going to hell, nigga? You going to hell, not me. I'm out. That's why I don't pay for them.
Giving these people their opportunities, giving these people their lives. You know, they have to serve them. This Tomorrowland
They got
festival, just with the imagery alone, you should be able to tell. You should be able to understand why are they showing so many pentagrams and pyramids, all-seeing eyes, and then the way that they talk too. They're telling you, oh, we're gonna enter the portal to the light, and the light's gonna free you, and all this stuff. That's pure cultic talk. I personally never watched. I don't really listen to EDM music. I didn't really know much about this festival until you guys sent it to me. I've seen it before, like here and there, but I never really looked into it. You could tell these festivals have their agenda just like everything else. But when the moment that you actually take some time and look into the festival, it becomes super obvious, you know? You see all this imagery.
You know what they're doing? They're making the imagery normal to the people that's coming up, to the people that are blind. They're normalizing the occultic imagery. They don't care. They're gonna keep pushing it because at the end of the day, you know, we live and then we don't, then we done, right? Now we got the next generations coming up, and they're not gonna know about the past. They're just gonna know about what they see and the future.
You're right. And like we spoke about in the last podcast, like they said that Christianity is gonna fall. They're trying to erase everything that existed beforehand. I agree. They're trying to make sure that there is no longer God in Christianity. We all worship ourselves. We all worship the philosophy that Lucifer wanted for the world. This is what Lucifer wants. Lucifer wants you to be morally free and not care about what you do and not be responsible for your actions. Just do what thou wilt. Do whatever you want without the consequences. It doesn't matter if you're a bad person. It doesn't matter if no one likes it. As long as it makes you happy and it satisfies you, that's what the devil wants. That's what Lucifer preaches. That's what Aleister Crowley preaches. And that's what Tomorrowland is telling all the fans that get there. They literally started this with a giant ritual ceremony. It shows these people ritually marching down this giant particle accelerator that's going to shoot a beam of light into the sky and open a portal. That's the imagery that they're putting, and these people are there just cheering it on. They're not at all questioning, what the heck are they showing me? It blows my mind because this has nothing to do with music.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they're putting it out there for, though. They're telling us about CERN. They're telling us about UFOs. They're telling us about everything now because they're trying to make everything normal. I'm telling you. Our great-great-great-grandkids, unfortunately, they might not even know what Christianity is.
I have to agree with you 100% because they're trying to phase it out. They're trying to replace it with the religion of do what thou wilt. They're not trying to. They have brought in the new order of the Aeon. It's not about being a God-fearing person no more. It's not about being a good person. It's about being the person you want to be and being the best version of you and do what you want. That is not going to lead to great men or great women. That's going to lead to a fallen society. You understand? It's going to lead to chaos. We need people to live by the morals that God set for us because it's what keeps us living correctly. It's what keeps us living a good life. The moment that we stray away from God's commands and God's moral guidelines, we end up destroying ourselves. And we've seen it in the past over and over and over again. And this is exactly what they're doing now. Who knows what these elite people are really up to? But we can tell with their imagery who they truly serve. You understand? That's what's important. We know that it can't be nothing good if they're serving Lucifer.
The crazy thing is, when we watch TV and we watch everything, you never see a cross unless there's them sacrificing themselves on it or upside down. But they're not allowed to push the truth. They're just pushing this false world that our people are going to fall into regardless of what they want to do. We don't have a choice. We have a choice now because we know what's the truth. But like I said earlier, our great-great-great-grandkids, they won't know anything.
Exactly, because they're stripping them of all this important knowledge. Eventually, it's just not going to, they're not even going to know, like you said, they won't even know what Christianity is. It won't even exist anymore. They won't even know what Christ or God. They will be living in a world, if the world even goes that far. Because at the end of the day, in a world that's without God, it's a world full of chaos and destruction. That's in my opinion. Well, I'm going to end it right here, guys. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for coming. I appreciate every single one of you. And I'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.
All right, that's it for me too. I'm gonna get off because I'm cooking right now. I'm hungry.
I truly appreciate every single one of you. If you would like to further support the channel, join the.
Like I said, I appreciate y'all coming to watch. He has some interesting fact. I'm cooking something real quick, but yeah, he has some facts, no cap. So, you know, stop by. I'll probably watch more of his stuff too. He's pretty good, and he uploads almost daily.